Steeler Nation, sports fans, welcome to another version of Soul Tape. It is a victory.
It's called coaching.
Sidney Crosby passes Mario Lemieux as the Penguins' all-time points leader.
The Pirates have one of the best pitching staffs.
They be balling.
I'm fired up. All right. We are off and running. Welcome, everyone, to another version of Soul Tape. We come to you every Tuesday from 6 to 8 p.m. My name is Kevin Cameron. Across from me in middle of your screen is Mr. Ken Craig. And he's back. He's the man, Eric Gibson.
You got to be hip to the gip. Hello,
Back.
everybody out there in cyberspace.
And there you go. So we're doing this thing on YouTube as well as on the radio side, Pittsburgh's DSEN. So whatever side you're on, thank you for joining us today. We appreciate you as always, and we would love for you to call in as well. So the digits for those of you on the YouTube side is on your screen, but we're going to give it to you anyway. Ken, do you have those digits?
I do. If you want to call in and join the conversation, call 412-213-8995 or text us. We'd love to hear your text all throughout the show. 412-218-3888. Again, you want to call in 412-213-8995 or text in at 412-218-3888.
And I'm going to try, fellas, to bring up the screen so we don't miss any calls. There's a lot going on, so we definitely want those calls. But before we get started, let me just give some show information. I mentioned the website. We have our radio listeners. Check it out, pghdsen.com. Also, when you're on the website, please check out the radio schedule that is out there as well. And on the YouTube side, if you're not on YouTube, you could click over, check us out. Please subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your family, your loved ones, and everybody else will appreciate it. Starting off with the first topic of today is combine time in the NFL, fellas, right? So you have all 32 teams represented in Indianapolis, Indiana, okay, to start to evaluate draft class, the possible draft class, 2026. Everyone should know by now, the draft is in the Burgh.
It's in the Burgh.
It's in the Burgh. It's in Pittsburgh. Okay, so be prepared to be here for one way or the other on TV or in person. Okay, I know I'm looking forward to it, but fellas, this is really the time. The Super Bowl is over. This is the time for all the teams to come together and check out the talent that will be available, and at the same time, make some news as well. A lot of the teams look to work deals out during this time. Let players know that your services will no longer be available to us, or, we don't want your services coming up, and we'll give you time to move on. So some players, the news came down that they're being released. I know Kirk Cousins, for example, Atlanta decided to release him, or that might be pending.
Well, he's made a whole lot of money.
He has made a whole lot of money, for sure, between Washington, Minnesota, and Atlanta. Okay, so a lot of the trade talks are occurring as well. So not just releases, but trade talks also. Okay, and the fans want to know what their team plans are. Okay, so from a Pittsburgh Steelers standpoint, is General Manager Omar Kahn. He had the opportunity to speak to everyone, the assembled media anyway today. And I saw that he made his rounds, not just with the assembled media, but with some talk shows as well. And it was pretty much the same message, okay, that everyone wants to know what's going on with the Steelers quarterback situation. Will Aaron Rodgers be coming back, or will the Steelers look to move on from Aaron Rodgers and possibly bring in another quarterback? Everyone should know that Will Howard was drafted last year by the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that's an option. That's an option that I'm not really crazy about, okay? And think about it this way, fellas, too. If Will Howard was actually was actually a good consideration, I don't think we would play this waiting game with Aaron Rodgers. I believe that we would just move forward and decide, hey, we're going to give Will an opportunity and we'll see what happens. But right now, it's a very similar situation with last year with Aaron Rodgers.
Well, Kevin, I concur with that in regards to Will Rodgers. I never
Will Howard.
Will Howard.
Yep.
Will Rodgers. That's what that tells you. That says it in a nutshell right there.
There you go.
But I've never seen a sixth rounder get so much publicity. I think that happens to be the case because he's a quarterback and he's here in Steeler Nation. So we'll see. But I think the con man may have something up his sleeves during the combine, making his rounds.
Is that right?
And look out, he might try to. He might try to grab another receiver.
Okay.
Might try to put some depth in that secondary or find another safety. So I'm saying watch out for the con man. But one thing I wanted to ask you,
can we still, before you ask me, can we still call him the con man? He got that name a couple of years ago when he was making all the moves and everything. But if he's the con man, we've been waiting 2 years for a bona fide number 2 wide receiver.
Well, I'm calling this wishful thinking.
Okay.
But what I wanted to elaborate on, like you mentioned, the draft is coming to Pittsburgh. Do you have any property to rent, any parking space to rent? They're expecting 500,000 people to rain down on the city.
Yeah.
So there's some opportunity for a few ducats to be made. So I just wanted to point that out.
I'm seriously considering, the studio that is centrally located between the south side of Pittsburgh and the north shore of Pittsburgh and downtown. Okay, so those are the 3 prime locations of the draft. I'm thinking about turning this into, how many bedrooms do you
Put some AAA or bunk beds in here, absolutely.
Might have to do some subleasing up in here with the prices that I'm hearing being thrown around.
Yeah, if you have some property, time is now.
Yeah, for sure.
You're gonna score a big windfall, no doubt about it.
So just back to Omar Khan. He spoke to the media. He talked about Aaron Rodgers, and he basically just said, look, we're not going to wait as long as last year. We are waiting, is what he said. And he said that the Steelers would like to have him back, and they'll take it from there, okay? If I were a betting man, and I'm not, but if I were, I would say Aaron Rodgers would be back. He also mentioned, Omar Khan did, that Aaron Rodgers spoke to the new head coach, Mike McCarthy, a number of times as well. Okay? If you're done, I'm sorry. I don't need to speak to you a number of times.
Right.
I mean, you've only been here 6 months. I mean, what is 6 months? Is that 2 semesters?
Yeah, roughly, yeah.
For the most part, and I'm not even sure, I guess 2 semesters, fall and a quarter of winter semester.
But even the conversation,
yeah.
I mean, why would you be going and engaging in conversations with your daughter, right? And So I don't know if it's just for him to make that final decision. I'm assuming that's what the conversations are for, is for him to say, okay, is this a situation or a scenario that I want to put myself in and put my body through another year? Or is this where, they're not going to have a supporting cast around me, those kind of things. So I don't know.
It can only get better, I would think.
You would think.
I would think.
Yeah.
From a overall support element standpoint. Mm-hmm. Now, it's not going to get better as far as his age and his mobility, right?
Yeah, no.
Because, it's kind of scary to think that he could be less mobile than what he was last year.
That's not happening.
Well, I understand word on the street, he's decompressing up in the mountains going down ski slopes. So,
is that right?
So hopefully he doesn't have a Lindsey Vonn situation.
You're right.
But I think also some sentiment that a decision's already been made by Aaron or close to it, and the Steelers already know that.
Sure.
So that tells me that it's leaning that direction in regards to him coming back. But they got to have a plan B, because I think with Aaron, anything is possible. When he's out there decompressing, or if he goes into the darkness of the cave, maybe he comes out with another decision.
As he talked about that, he went on a darkness retreat a few years ago, didn't he?
He sure did. He went somewhere in the deep abyss and said he was in darkness for 4 days. Just complete darkness. It's supposed to have a healing effect and be elevating to the mind. I don't want to try it. I'm scared of the dark, but maybe it works for Aaron.
I would like a little bit more detail on that, because 4 days totally in the dark, I don't believe it. I mean, what about going to the bathroom, trying to get something to eat, all that kind of. I mean, he had to take a temporary reprieve, didn't he?
I guess we'll have to ask Aaron that. Maybe you'll get up close and personal with him, Kevin.
I might have to ask him when he returns.
Before any kind of response or any kind of interest or not interest, I need to hear more about that, because that one side of it sounds fantastic. The other side, I'm like, I don't know if I don't know.
I'm not even sure if Caveman had 4 days in the dark. Didn't they rub together some sticks and made a fire?
Yeah, they discovered fire.
They were desperate to get out of that dark.
So I'm not sure about that. Now, check it out. There's a quarterback in Alabama that's being floated around as well for consideration for the Steelers. I think his name is Ty Simpson.
Yep.
Okay. How do you two feel about Ty Simpson from Alabama?
Yeah, I think so. Omar Khan.
That's all right.
Omar Khan.
Omar Khan made a mistake with the head coach earlier today, too.
Yeah, he did.
He was still saying Mike Tomlin instead of Mike McCarthy.
Omar Khan made a comment today about this person needs to be a AFC North quarterback. And that got me thinking, right? Like that actually changes the narrative that we're talking about here, right? Because bringing in a smaller bodied quarterback, someone who can't stand in a pocket and take hits and that, or can't be mobile out of those things that make an AFC quarterback, right? When you think about it.
But Ty Simpson, go ahead.
I was going to say, I have to look at him differently.
He's not small, though, is he?
I thought he's
6'2", 215.
Yeah, so he's not small by any means.
I'm 6'2".
Right.
You're not as small as you used to be, also.
Not as quick.
You look well.
Not as quick either.
But by no means is that small. I'm not saying small. But the toughness piece of it too, right? So I want to go back and really look at some of his tape. He really impressed me. Ty Simpson, like he had some impressive tape out there. But I want to look more at his mobility as well, see what he did to get outside the pocket and things like that. But, I think that's definitely, in this draft class, I think it's definitely something to look at. He didn't blow me away, put it that way.
Yeah, I'm going to jump on what Ken said.
Okay.
So there was not the wow factor with Ty Simpson. I watched a lot of Alabama football, peaks and valleys. There were some halves. I would say halves. I don't know if I seen a complete game. It's like, wow, that was a nice pass. Well, showed some mobility, but I would say at best, I don't want a Kenny Pickett 2.0.
Yeah.
I think he's a little bit better than Kenny.
That's what they're saying.
Because he plays definitely at a higher grade, a higher level of football at Alabama with more talent. But, again, I did not see the wow factor. Too inconsistent, too many peaks and valleys. Maybe in the right system, matures and takes it to another level, but it's not something I'd be willing to take a risk on. I want a wide receiver.
Not at 21 in the first round.
Yeah, I want a wide receiver at number 1.
Okay. Some of the other things Omar Khan talked about, some of the free agents for the Pittsburgh Steelers. One, which was the Steelers MVP for 2025, Kenneth Gainwell. He mentioned that he would really like to have Kenneth Gainwell back. Kenneth Gainwell is doing the right thing. He will become a free agent and test the market based on my understanding. That's the smart thing to do.
Especially after his success this past year. I mean, this is what every player plays for, is for a year like this, right? You get your prove-it deal, and you go out there and prove it, right? So there's going to be some teams searching for him. Now, he's also a smart guy. Kenneth Gainwell, he's got a good shoulder on his head, good head on his shoulders, and he's someone who's going to put himself in the best position as well. And so I'm excited to see, if he comes back or if he decides to go somewhere else, because I think that if he does stay here, he's someone that will see the ball a lot again, no matter who the offensive.
Yeah,
and that's a good point, Ken, because I think regarding Gainwell, key thing for him, if the dollars are close, dollars make sense. It makes sense for him to come back to Pittsburgh. But if somebody blows him away, he's gone.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of teams. You think of all the teams that have prominent offensive coordinators or new head coaches that like to use backs out of the backfields in a diversified way. I can see Miami making a play. I can see a plethora of teams trying to make a play because he's kind of the shoe that fits for them. But once again, if the money's close, I can see him want to come here and be utilized.
And you mentioned Miami too. So I heard a little bit of the new head coach. I forget his name, but the new head coach and the GM for Miami talk about Tua, the quarterback, his situation. And I understand that they're open to trading Tua as well. And he also said that they're open to bringing him back. But if you're trying to trade someone, I guess you have to say that as well, right. From a leverage standpoint.
Yeah, yep.
Now, Kev, let me ask you this.
Did you find the name?
Yeah, his name, Jeff Hafley.
Jeff
Hafley, yes.
Okay.
But let me ask you this. Do you think anyone any level of interest of a look?
I would stay away from I would stay away from him. With his concussion.
Yeah, when Omar Khan said it was mentioned that AFC-style quarterback, the first thing that popped in my mind was like, Tua is not that, right? So anyone who says Tua to the Steelers, absolutely not.
We know he can't play in the cold, so that's another strike.
Exactly. Definitely not an AFC. Right. Definitely not an AFC North quarterback. Real quick, because we're running short on the subject, about a minute left. Omar Khan also talked about some other free agents, James Pierre, cornerback, Asante Samuel Jr. as well, would like to bring those two cornerbacks back. I know from a draft standpoint that the Steelers would have an interest in possibly drafting a cornerback, but if those three guys come back, I mentioned two, along with Joey Porter Jr., who's up for a new contract as well. Okay, but if those three come back, I'm feeling pretty good about the Steelers' cornerback situation. However, you need more than three.
Yeah, I feel very good about the cornerback situation. You can never have too many good corners, but James Pierre had a good season. Joey Porter really improved. He cleaned up all that handsy penalty stuff and really was locking guys down. So, and Asante Samuels, remember, he was out, still getting his legs under him, but he has a high pedigree. So I think we're strong at that. Maybe you get somebody in the later round, but I'm confident at corner. Not as confident at safety, but I'm more confident.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. If we lock those three names up, specifically the two free agents, it just gives us that flexibility going into the draft. It allows us to not be desperate for any or reach for any position like we've done in the past in certain scenarios, right? And so having, even if you bring in someone better than those two, fantastic. Then you got someone better, right? Or, but otherwise, then I could see going middle of the draft, like you said, where we may pick up someone that's not first round, second round talent, but maybe a third round.
All right, great. So we'll move on to the Pittsburgh Pirates and talk about what's going on there. We'll get back to the NFL in the second segment. So that's after 6:30. We'll talk about the NFL Combine. But as far as the Pittsburgh Pirates, spring training is in full effect down in Bradenton, Florida. The first game was on Saturday. I had an opportunity to take a look at the game on Sunday. It was a double game where the Pirates, it was a split squad game. So I think the Pirates actually played against, was it Boston, one of the games? And
they played against Boston today.
Today?
Yep.
Okay.
And Tampa Bay on Sunday? Yep.
Tampa Bay. That's who it was. Okay. But also the following day, Bubba Chandler actually made a start, or he pitched, let me say that. 1 2/3 innings, striking out 2, but he had 4 walks and given up 4 runs when he pitched. So the command was shaky. He threw only 14 of 35 pitches for strikes. But one of the articles that I was reading as well, he said that he felt good. Now, keep in mind, Bubba Chandler didn't start off with the Pirates last year. He came onto the squad late last year. I think it might have been the last 25% of the season, somewhere around that mark. He came in and actually was up, with the big squad. I think I would feel more comfortable with a better outing, even though that was his first outing. One of the things I definitely look at from a pitching standpoint is your control, right? You cannot be walking batters. It's concerning to me that he said that he felt good after providing 4 walks and also only throwing 14 of 35 pitches for strikes.
But we need him to feel a little bit better. But
a lot better.
Yeah.
And perform better.
Yeah. But I'm thinking, the book on Bubba Chandler has been around control. But right now, I still feel that it's promising. This is a very small sample size. At least he has the whole spring to get the kinks worked out. Let's see how it's looking 2 weeks from. And he has a strong pitching staff and coaching staff to help support him.
Yeah.
And hopefully there'll be some better bats coming with the
Definitely.
Buccos this year. So we'll see how that plays out.
He's 23 years old, too. Young guy, a lot to learn. And, I say 23, and you have Connor Griffin, or I should say we have Connor Griffin, 19 years old, even younger, right? So we'll see if Connor Griffin is able to make the squad moving up north for opening day. We talked about that last week.
Yeah, and just to piggyback on that, he had 2 home runs today.
Yeah.
2 big bombs today, and their win, they won 16-7.
I saw that, and the number of hits as well. Let me see, because the Pirates sent this over also. 21 hits.
That's crazy.
Wow.
21 hits today, and the Pirates beat the Red Sox 16-7. The winning pitcher was Carmen Badinsky. I can't even say it. Badinsky, if that's the proper
Close enough.
pronunciation. So the Pirates, they're often running. Let me see what else stands out here. Nick Gonzalez has hits in 5 of his last 6 at-bats. In his last 2 games after going 3 for 3 with a double and RBI today. Also, Jack Mangum or Magnum, tripled in the third inning as part of a 2-for-3 day with a pair of RBI and 2 runs scored out of the leadoff spot. Garcia, back-to-back multi-hit games after going 2-for-3 with 2 runs scored today. Tamar Johnson, that's another nice prospect, went 2-for-3 with a double and RBI off the bench. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. The Bucs will travel to Northport to face the Braves tomorrow at 1:05. Paul Skenes is expected to start for the Pirates against Bryce Elder. So we'll see how many innings or how many pitches that Paul Skenes, the Pirates ace, will have tomorrow. So this whole team is being built around Paul Skenes.
Okay. Yeah, if I could throw this out to you and Ken in the cheap seats real quick. Maybe you talked about this last week. Griffin, red hot during spring and just knocks the cover off the ball like he's been doing. Still, the Pirates will bring him up on the opening day lineup.
Personally, I wouldn't because I don't want to rush them. But will the Pirates do it? They're known not to do it, so I'll say no.
I personally would like to see them do it just to see the Pirates do something different, but that's my personal preference.
Okay. 19 years old. I think it's a big difference. The reason I wouldn't bring him up, once the real ball happens, okay, when you'll see pitchers for 5, 6, 7 innings versus 1.5 innings, okay, and pitchers that won't make it up to the big league. It's a big difference. And I wouldn't want him to get off to a bad start, and then there could be problems with confidence and setbacks and everything else.
And that's a relevant point, but we've been watching the real ball for the last 20 years, and it just seems like hooking up something a little bit different.
I hear you. Yeah. I mean, the Pirates are in desperate need for offense, and I think a lot of the changes that they've made with some of their acquisitions, the arrow's pointing up, as Mike Tomlin used to say. The arrow's pointing up. So I'm optimistic, and it takes a whole lot for me to say I'm optimistic about the Pittsburgh Pirates. So we'll see what happens here. All right, so we have a couple minutes left before our first break, and what we need to do, we need to talk about some of the Pittsburgh legends that we lost over the last 2 weeks. A lot of the talk over the last few days was about Bill Maskarowski, okay, who hit the game-winning home run, the 7th game of the 1960 World Series against the New York Yankees, passed away a few days ago. So condolences out to his family, all the loved ones, Pirates Nation. He'll definitely be missed. He was definitely a legend, not just a Pirate legend, Major League Baseball legend, a baseball legend, a Pittsburgh legend.
A defensive wizard, second base, no doubt about it.
That's right. And also, before him, we had Wagner. Okay, number 23 for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike Wagner, passed away as well, another legend. Same thing I mentioned, with Maskarowski, Mike Wagner, number 23, for the Pittsburgh Steelers, passed away a few days ago. I think it might have been, was it Thursday of last week? Over the last few weeks. So same thing, condolences out to his family, friends, loved ones.
Absolutely, condolences out to both those families. Kevin, I had the opportunity to meet Mike Wagner. First of all, was consummate gentleman, very nice, very approachable. But Mike was good size safety, long and range. He was very underrated as safety for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I might be the playoff interceptions, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe Sports Billy, Ken Craig, to look that up.
Yeah, I will look that up.
I'm pretty sure he's the playoff leader exception for Pittsburgh Steelers. But again, a very underrated player. Two very kind, consummate gentlemen Bill Maz, Broski, affectionately known as Maz.
Yeah, and I actually interviewed him a number of years ago, too. It might have been maybe 10 years ago. Ken, did you have the answer there?
Yeah, Mike Wagner holds the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise record for the most career playoff interceptions with 5.
Wow. Gibbs, you're on it. You're on it. I like that. I like that. Another one that might have slipped by, we should have talked about this last week, and Pirates legend as well, Elroy Face, passed away at age 97. So condolences out to his family, friends, loved ones, Pirate Nation. So we've been hit pretty hard here over the last week or two from a Pittsburgh sports standpoint. Did I miss anyone? I want to make sure I didn't miss anyone.
But it tells you a lot of legends have come through Rivers.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
All right. So what we need to do, we need to go ahead and take this break, and I want to let everyone know what we'll be talking about coming up for segment 2. The USA got it done on the ice. Yes, indeed. Got it done. So we need to talk about those 2 victories.
Absolutely.
Yeah, two. Even though there's somebody who doesn't really want to provide one of the teams the due credit. Okay, but one deserves just as much credit as the other, if not even more. Okay, and then
we need to talk about some locals who brought gold medals back to the Pittsburgh area as well.
Okay,
part of those teams. So, talking about Pittsburgh legends, I wanted to make sure to give those specific women and men a little shout out from the Pittsburgh area.
Excellent. Also, 3-on-3 versus 5-on-5.
Get it out of here.
I already know
we need to talk about it.
Me and Ken had a text exchange, so we're on the same boat, but we'll get to that.
Is that right?
Yes.
Is that right? What else do we have coming up in the second segment? We also have
NFL
what's
combine
going on
changes
at the NFL Combine. There's some rule changes that's being thrown around. There's one particular rule that I really don't care for.
I know which one you're talking about.
I really don't. And before we go to break as well, there was some Penguins news.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you share that Penguins news before we take a break?
I sure can.
All right.
So the Pittsburgh Penguins made a trade today. So obviously we know there was a Olympic break. During that Olympic break, all trades were put on hold. So all rosters were frozen at that time. Now that the Olympics are over, the trade season is now back in action. The trade deadline for the NHL is March 6th. So we are going to see a lot of action from now till March 6th. And the Pittsburgh Penguins front office, the president of hockey operations and GM Kyle Dubas started nice and early. Pittsburgh actually moved Brett Kulak, who they just recently picked up in December as part of the Tristan Jarry trade, for Sam Girard, who's another defenseman.
Okay.
He's about 5 years younger, really good offensive defenseman from Colorado. In addition to that, we got a 2028 second-round pick out of it as well. So, big move by Kyle Dubas here. Sammy G is going to add a lot of speed to our defensive pairing. So it was a good move.
So the Penguins are playoff bound. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
They've been looking good all year.
Well, I had a quick question for Ken because on this Olympic.
Oh, hold that question. Let's go ahead and take a break.
Okay.
Right. And when we get back, we'll get to your question for Ken regarding those Pittsburgh Penguins that will start play. I think it's on Thursday, Ken, if I'm not mistaken.
They start Thursday against New Jersey.
Yeah. So we'll talk about everything that we've been setting up and more when we get back.
Looking for a cost-effective way to help increase your company's bottom line? Look no further than Soul Pit Media. With our award-winning print, internet, podcast, and Soul Pit television options, we can help your business get to that next level. For more information, contact Craig Dawson at 47685. That's 412-407-7685. And let Soul Pit Media take you to that next level.
Business owners thinking about back-to-school promotions and replacing summer flavors with pumpkin? What about your taxes? Reduce your stress and tax liabilities by planning for tax time now with Cameron Professional Services Group. CPSG takes your goals, values, and visions to create a custom tax plan catered specifically to your business. We work closely with you to ensure that as your business grows and goals shift, so will your custom plan. Located in the Hill District in Pittsburgh, PA, CPSG is a CPA and consultant firm, providing services in accounting, auditing, tax planning and preparation, community development, and operational management. Call Cameron Professional Services Group today at 412-251-0607.
Have you had the Beat by Niche experience? Beat by Niche is one of the top makeup artists in the city of Pittsburgh. She's touched the face of Cardi B, love and hip-hop personalities, and various Steeler wives. If you have not sat in her chair, what are you waiting for? Visit beatbyniche.com to schedule your special makeover for all occasions: weddings, graduations, proms, photo ops, and more. Visit beatbyniche.com and experience the touch of excellence.
All right, we are back. This is Soul Take on Pittsburgh's DSEN. Who was that, Gibbs? Who was that? That I just played.
That sounds like loose ends, getting a little bit loose with it.
Patrice Rushen. Remember her?
Oh, okay. You're right.
Yeah,
Mark,
Patrice
right.
Rushen. Yeah, still sounds good. Still sounds good.
Why didn't you ask me?
Well, he was the first one I thought
You
of.
should have asked Ken because I got it wrong. I
You
was like,
might have had a better chance
well,
than
you know why? You know
than
why?
Gibbs.
I had no
I wasn't
idea.
paying attention. I wasn't paying attention.
idea.
You caught me off guard.
I did catch him off guard.
You won't get me on the next
Oldie but
one.
goodie.
It was
Oldie
nice.
but
Back on.
goodie. And if those of you out there like that type of music, we do old school every Saturday right here on Pittsburgh's DSEN from 6 to 11 p.m. You have to go over to our radio side. If you're not over there, it's pghdsen.com. All right, my name is Kevin Cameron. In the middle, you have Ken Craig. On the side of him, I guess his left side, Eric Gibson. And
All right, y'all.
we are talking Pittsburgh sports, major and hot sports topics. The phone lines are open. If you would like to be a part of the conversation, Gibbs, you had a question regarding the Penguins?
Yeah, it was regarding. I wanted to defer to Ken's expertise. The Olympic break, till the hockey season is a long grind. It's grueling. You feel that little break for the gentlemen that did not go to the Olympics to help refresh their legs?
Yeah, especially they get some time off, and then they also get practice time as well, right? So these teams, they may practice once or twice a week, right? Because they have games right now 3-4 times a week. So, this break is good, I think, for everybody. I think for especially, it gives about a month and a half left of games until the playoffs start. So anyone that's in that last push until the playoffs, this is good to kind of just regroup, everybody get as healthy as you possibly can, look at the strategy, look at game planning, all of those things. Yeah, I think it's really good for the players that did not go. It as much as you want to go and represent your country, it's also nice to get a little break.
Obviously, we have a key player that needs to get healthy.
Got a few. Yeah, Chris Letang had a broken foot beforehand. He's back to skating. Sid is someone who needs to get healthy right now.
What's his timeline?
Right now, he's still day to day.
Okay.
So, it's just based on how he feels when he's out there. I would say I don't want to make any assumptions from anything, but he's just been announced as day to day.
Okay. And the game is Thursday, right? The first game back against who?
New Jersey Devils.
Home or away?
We are home.
Home.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you expect to see him on Thursday?
I do not.
You do not?
Yeah.
Okay. And the game after that is when?
Saturday?
Saturday?
Yeah.
Better chance on Saturday?
I think there's a better chance on Saturday than Thursday, but, Thursday's a long time away, and Sid has been – he is someone that if he is not 100% if he is going to be a detriment to his team in a high-stakes game like that, he would rather the person who has the jersey on be able to impact the game, right? He is very selfless in that sense. He has always been that way.
I guess it all depends how you look at it, because you could be selfless and put your body on the line.
Well, but if you're only able to skate 50%, right? And are you?
Hey, that's Sidney Crosby.
That's the thing.
His 50% might be better than a lot of people's 100%.
I believe that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely believe that. So we'll see. The team's back on the practice ice tomorrow. So they weren't able to meet last practice because he was traveling home.
Yeah.
But he'll be back on the practice tomorrow.
Now, we're going to follow up, and we're going to get into this Olympic hockey competition and this gold medal, 2 gold medals won. But we're going to start on the men's side first.
Yeah.
Just because we've been talking about the Penguins and Sidney Crosby. Have you been keeping up with any chatter from Canada? And where I'm going with this, I know they're salty already because a lot of them are saying that the best team lost. Well, if that's the case, they should have got the results on the ice. But were they feeling some kind of way with Sidney Crosby not playing and maybe Kyle Dubas being part of the Olympic team, holding him out possibly to save him for the Penguins?
I have not heard that.
Okay.
I don't feel like they are salty. I feel like the fact that he was on the ice that morning and tried, right? Like he went out for morning skate, tried to give it a go. I truly believe that Sidney Crosby, this is going to sound different, but can't do wrong in that.
Okay.
Right? So if he would have gone out there at 50% and they would have lost, they would have been like, at least he was out there.
Yeah.
The thing is, him being as old as he is and the talent that is around him, like there's guys on that team.
They still had 2 or 3 other best in the world, right?
Absolute mega stars. I mean, Connor McDavid is someone who is supposed to be the like all-in-all best player in the league. Nathan McKinnon. I mean, they have absolute stars on that team.
Yeah.
Stacked. The fact that, the thing is they're offensive drivers. Sidney Crosby is just the smartest one out there. He might not be able to skate as fast as some people, but he knows exactly where to be at all times.
I was going to say the chatter that I'm hearing from Canada, I've heard what you said, Kevin, but also mentioned Connor McDavid. I mean, the speed demon on ice. No one skates faster than Connor McDavid, but he's starting to get the label of not being able to win the big one.
Yeah.
So I've heard a lot of that chatter. Actually, on Sunday morning, going from Saturday I celebrated a birthday, Kev, the big 6-0.
Okay, all right.
So I was out
Happy
late.
belated birthday.
But I text Ken early, but it was the wrong number.
What day was it?
Well,
your birthday?
Saturday, February 21st.
Okay, but you have to keep in mind, along with everybody else as well, we do this thing that's called shout-outs on Pittsburgh's DSEN. So when people have birthdays and weddings and anniversaries, graduations, you got to let us know so we could shout you out or your family member out. So I wanted to
I was
throw that in there.
I was kind of blindsided. I was trying to skip that day because it was a big one, but the family didn't let me skip it.
Yeah,
so
you don't skip it.
Such is life.
It's a blessing.
But anyway, I thought I was texting Ken early in the morning because I'd never seen, it was like 2 fast break teams. There was so much action going on early. They were up and down the ice. I mean, there was speed on the ice. It was fast move, fast pace. And like I said, I liken it to two very good fast break teams that had a lot of quick guys out.
Okay.
It was a sight to behold. I'm glad I woke up and watched it.
Oh, yeah.
So that was a 2-1 win, right? In overtime.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And if Canada was so much better, what happened? Did they get out coached?
Oh, I think it was just, I mean, hockey is hockey, right? And in that moment, in that game, they got one past them, right? I truly believe that.
Good goaltending?
Good goaltending from the U.S. side. He was number one in the entire Olympics.
He stood on his head.
One thing that really upset me, and we talked about on Penn's Weekly Update, was that Connor Hellebuck did not get the MVP of the game, or MVP of the series, or the tournament, I should say. They gave it to Connor McDavid. Connor McDavid was on the losing side of the team. He's from Canada, right? So he's on the losing side of that match. Connor Hellebuck was absolutely standing on his head, keeping the U.S. team in that game. He let up 7 goals over the entire tournament. 137 shots.
Yeah.
Let up 7 goals.
Wow. That's impressive.
Very impressive. Yeah. And kept it to 2-1 game, or 1-1 game until U.S. scored. But he should have had, they gave the wrong Connor the MVP.
Okay.
But it's hockey, right? I mean, once you go into overtime, this was the, see here, this was the.
Look that up. I'm going to digress real quick. When is your birthday?
February 21st.
Wow. My wife just texted me, and she made me aware that you share a birthday with our daughter, Kiera.
Well, your daughter must be extra special.
She is.
Hey, happy belated birthday, Kiera.
Yeah.
I hope you had a wonderful day.
So you two could throw a party together.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Count me in.
So this was the first time that the Olympics had 2 things. One, they had the NHL professionals playing in the Olympics. They did a 3-on-3 sudden death over. Okay, this is the first time they've ever done that.
How did they do it previously?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So in 2010 was the first time they went to 4 men.
4.
Yeah, 4-on-4 over. Prior to that, it was just a normal overtime.
Okay.
Right? So it was normal
So
5-on-5. Yeah, normal 5-on-5 overtime. And instead, now they go down to 3-on-3.
And hold your thought on that 3-on-3 because the women did the same thing.
Yep.
Now, the women took Canada down first.
Yep.
That game was on Thursday.
Yep.
Okay. And who was the favorite going into that particular?
I don't know. I'm not sure who was the favorite, but the U.S. women's team has been
in the Olympics, I should say. Who was the favorite to win the gold?
Yeah, it was U.S. women's Olympic team. They've just been absolutely dominant.
Now, I have my information somewhere, but I think I remember just from a Olympic standpoint, I think I remember it. The number of medals, the number of gold medals, Norway was number 1. I mean, Winter Olympics, Norway isn't that big.
No, it's not
Am
big,
I right?
but it's right up there. I mean, they're up there. What? Just they're in that area. What's that called?
Well, Norway. That's the Nordic countries.
Yep.
So when you think about Norway, Sweden, they're in an area where they have a lot of Icelandic sports.
Yep.
A lot of skiing, bobsledding.
I mean, even their ice hockey team.
luge.
Their ice hockey team was favored to be, top 3 this year. And, unfortunately, they did not do very well and were knocked out pretty early. But, Norway's.
So what's their population?
I'll tell you. Do you know what it is?
I don't.
Oh, okay. I'm going to look it up right now.
But I would think that it's a lot smaller than the U.S. Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm going to take a guesstimate of about 32 million.
Oh,
okay.
5.572 million. Yeah, in 2024.
So 5.6 million.
Yeah.
Versus the U.S., I'm going to say off the top of my head, 245 million. If that's about right.
$342.3 million.
Ooh, I was way off. I was quoting like 1970 numbers,
Yeah, right.
1970s. Right. So that just goes to show you don't take me on the Price is Right.
Right.
So, but Hughes different. So
Huge.
how could they dominate the way they dominate? You don't have to answer.
I don't know. Yeah.
When I looked at that, I was like, come on now.
No, but I think the reason that the proof is in the pudding, Kevin, I think it just comes down to those countries, those locations, a lot more ski slopes, a lot more rinks, a lot more places to go.
So you're saying we needed Lindsey Vonn is what you're saying.
And it's more specialized.
It's more
right?
specialized.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
A lot of times, a lot of good baseball players are coming out of the South because they're playing baseball all season round. A lot of places where you have.
I still don't buy it. Yeah. I mean,
Well,
even if you take
I'm still going to sell it. I'm still going to sell it.
Even if you take our colder states, Colorado, Utah, New Hampshire, on and on and on. Even if you take our colder states, the population from our colder states is far more than Norway.
Okay, let me make an analogy then.
Okay.
So at one time, still a lot of the top flight basketball players coming out of New York City because that so many people played a higher percentage playing basketball in New York City.
And there's 7 to 8 million people in New York City.
A lot more fighters. Philadelphia was known as the boxer town. A lot of boxers were coming out of Philly. But there were other cities that had a bigger population, but that was just a popular sport.
Okay. You still didn't convince me. All right, so on the women's side, what happened?
Stubborn.
What happened with the women? Okay, the women dominated Canada as well. They were the first to do it out of the two squads.
Yep.
Okay, they also went overtime. They also did the 3-on-3.
That is correct.
Right.
They also did a 3-on-3.
And let me go back. Jack Hughes scored the winning goal for the men. For the women, the winning goal, Megan Keller.
Yep. Keller. Yep.
Okay.
Beautiful, beautiful goal that she had. I think it was a few minutes in to overtime. I mean, yeah, just great hockey plays in overtime. In overtime in these situations, a lot of open ice, right? So athletic skill goes a lot further than your typical defensive style play or your hitting style play, right? Like it's at that hands. You have a lot of open ice. You have a lot of time. You have a lot of puck handling. That so it goes a lot further in these.
Gas you. My wife is hot tonight. I mean, she's hot in other ways. I'll keep that separate, but she's hot tonight with her information, and she made a real good analogy. She texted me, and when I asked about how could Norway dominate being so small, she said Norway dominates like Aliquippa does. Aliquippa High School. That's a good analogy.
Not sure how that works.
I have on red and black today.
There you go.
Caught that.
And since I mentioned Aliquippa as well, we should let everyone know Aliquippa appealed their classification to, was it the WPIL or the state?
PIAA.
Okay.
And that's part of the reason why I have on the red and black.
Excellent.
Kudos to Quip, because
they'll play in the.
That was a bunch of malarkey to begin with.
Big time. They'll play in the AAA. We'll play in AAA for the next 2 years, guaranteed. So that was good to see.
Yeah, and just before we go any further, we had a few ice hockey players, both male and female, who won gold medals, who are from this area. Okay, so I just want to give them a quick shout out. JT Miller. He's played for the Pittsburgh Hornets in this area, was born kind of in the Beaver area. And Vincent Trocheck also played for the Pittsburgh Hornets as well. I believe he's from South Hills area. And those two from the men's team. And from the women's team, a special shout out to Layla Edwards. Layla Edwards is from Pittsburgh's elite team. She is the first black women's hockey player.
Nice.
To play for Team US.
Nice. We're going to have to get some of these locals on the program here.
Absolutely. But then also Ava, I'm going to mispronounce your last name, McNaughton Hannah Bilka, Gwyneth Phillips, all from Penn's elite hockey team. It's kind of the amateur Penguins team.
All right.
So they're all from this area, all played for Team USA, all won gold medals.
Cool. All right, so let's talk about this 3-on-3 overtime versus, you said previously, Kendi did 4-on-4, traditionals 5-on-5.
Yeah.
Do you like it? Can't stand it? What do you prefer?
I prefer, me personally, I prefer 5-on-5, right? Like that is your typical hockey. It's your classic playoff hockey, right? It's a continuance of the hockey game. 3-on-3 takes everything out of it. It takes the bench play out of it. It takes the depth play out of it, opens up the ice completely. And as some of the coaches that were there had said, it's made for TV. It's fast-paced, or a quick ending to the game, right? I believe that 3-on-3 hockey in overtime is good for regular season, right? Because these guys are playing so many games back-to-back and stuff. It's for a quick ending to a game. Regular season, that's perfectly fine. You get into playoff games, when you get into Stanley Cup championships, when you get into a gold medal game, having 3-on-3 out there is just absolute bush league.
Yeah, I don't want to resolve. I like the 5-on-5 better.
Okay.
In a basketball overtime, you don't make it 3-on-3. A football overtime, you don't take a couple players and make it 7-on-7 drill. So, and I think it'll be even more iconic if that game. Just think of the history. This game, don't turn the channel on me, Kevin.
I'm just thinking.
I mean, it does look exciting, but even on that 3-on-3, the fastest skater, like Ken said earlier, the athleticism should breed itself, and it should lend itself to that team
on
being more successful. On 3-on-3.
Yes.
But Canada had the fastest skater, the most athletic guy,
and still lost.
And still lost.
Yeah.
Well, because he got down and almost scored. The goal was blocked, and then they took the puck the other way, right? So you have two people back checking, then it turns into a 3-on-1 the opposite direction.
So you would say 5-on-5.
I would say
5-on-5. You too.
I'm going to stay with 5-on-5.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing I was thinking of, some of the modifications from other sports.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I'm not sure what modifications they make in the Olympics, but during the season, for example, you take Major League Baseball. They say, okay, we're going to put a runner on second base, right? You take college football. College football say, okay, we're not going to kick the ball off. We're going to give you the ball on what yard line is it? Is it the
10-5 or something?
25,
25?
Yeah, so the game is modified.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just trying to think of what modification could occur instead of doing exactly what was done to get you in a situation from the beginning.
Right.
I mean, you've been playing 5-on-5.
Yeah, and I like the 4-on-4 was okay just because the ice was still clogged up.
Yeah.
Right. It didn't. It's crazy to say taking two players off the ice makes that big of a difference, but it does. And when they had 4-on-4 in the 2010 Olympics, it was still classic hockey, right? Because the neutral zone was still clogged up. Wasn't just wide open passing and skating. It was still allowed the better team to prevail, and it felt that way, right?
Okay.
It felt that way. Whereas this just, it's all about elite skating, individual skill. One mistake, ends it all. Puck possession, those kind of.
But the right team won.
Yeah, this
Okay.
year, they earned it. I mean, they built and shout out to Coach Sullivan, the former Penguins head coach, who was Team USA's head coach, Mike Sullivan, who was here for 12 years as the Penguins head coach. He got a lot of flack this year on building the team the way he did because there was a few.
He was the head coach. For the Olympic team.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he has been for the number of years.
Okay.
But he picked a few people that they were like, over some people that, everyone thought should have made the team. He wanted what he said. Well, here's a quote from him. He said, there's two type of players. There's milk drinkers and there's whiskey drinkers. I wanted the whiskey drinker.
Interesting.
And there are a lot of grinders. There are a lot of, people that will make you pay for coming into the zone.
I mean, you drink milk, you get muscles, right?
That's what they used
don't
to
know.
say. I don't know if that's true anymore.
Ken just reminded me of my birthday on Saturday.
Yeah.
And it wasn't milk.
Wow.
But yeah,
Okay.
it was a good win from US. Like, you know, it's a good thing for USA Hockey. Even head coach Dan Muse made note of this. He said, because head coach Dan Muse, the Penguins head coach, is from the USA hockey development team, and he's part of that. He was part of that program before coming to Pittsburgh. So, you know, he said it's wins like this. You know, you start seeing players coming from different areas. They don't come from your Boston and Minnesota. You know, you see players coming from Arizonas and Floridas and, you know, different parts of the country now. And it's good to see the USA hockey program continue.
Cool. All right, so we'll go ahead and take our second break of the day. This will be a quick break. When we come back, we need to get caught up on some of our topics. We'll talk about what's going on in the golf world, PGA as well as LPGA. We'll talk about the NFL Combine. There's some rules consideration from a change standpoint that we need to update everyone on. And then we need to talk college basketball, AP Top 25, Michigan versus Duke. That was a tremendous game on Saturday as well. We need to talk.
Did they go into 3-on-3 overtime?
They did not, but that might be a good idea. That might be a good idea. And so you messed me up.
I'm sorry.
Pitt, okay, versus Stanford coming up tomorrow. Pitt will have 4 games left. We need to.
Stanford and the ACC.
I know, right? I know.
Give them a geography lesson.
Yeah, we need to talk about Pitt's last 4 games. Can they do enough? Can they get enough wins to make the ACC tournament? We'll talk about all of that and more when we return.
Pittsburgh, it's an old school party. Yes, each Saturday we throw it back with some of the best old school music, funk, R&B, old school, rap, hip hop, and all the jams that make you move and dance. Yes, check it out. Each Saturday, right here on Pittsburgh's DSEN. All the old school jams, 6 to 11 p.m.
Pittsburgh, have you seen our Sunday radio schedule? Ooh, it is lit. Start the day off with our Sunday gospel music from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. It will inspire you and have you praising the Lord. Then from 3 to 8 p.m., we bring you Sunday jazz melody for all the jazz lovers. Then cap off the night with The Quiet Storm from 8 to 11 p.m. to hear the best smooth, romantic, and soulful R&B sounds of yesterday and today. All that each Sunday on Pittsburgh's DSEN, the place for soul.
It's been a long time, shouldn't have left you without a song rhyme to step to. Think of how many weeks shows just left through. Thinking of this, you keep repeating your myth. The rhymes from the microphone solo quick, so you sit by the radio, hand on the dial tone. As you hear it, pump up the volume. Dance, speak until you hear it blow. Then plug in the headphone, cause here we go. It's the pull of the word, when it's heard in control. Your body to dance. So.
All right. Just jamming a little bit up in here. All right, this is Soul Take on Pittsburgh's DSEN. My name is Kevin Cameron. You also see Ken Craig in the middle of your screen and Eric Gibson to his left. For those of you on the radio side, it's all good. I just gave you the names. Now, we do want you to be a part of the conversation. We haven't received any calls tonight, and we would love to hear from you. You know the digits. Please make sure you call us. I'm going to give the digits again, 412-213-8995, or you can text us, 412-218-3888. And if you think I said it fast, that's okay, because if you're on YouTube, it should be on your screen. If you're on the radio side, just go to our website and see what the numbers are on the scroll that's on the website as well. Now, where do we want to start? Let's start in the PGA, okay? It was the Genesis Invitational that went down this past weekend. Ken, did you have an opportunity to check that out?
No, I did not have an opportunity to check it out.
Okay, well, let me tell you what happened here. Jacob Bridgman, he tried to give it away. He had like a 6-7 stroke lead, going into the day. And there's some guy named Rory McIlroy that was trying to track him down, and actually did track him down. So, but Jacob Bridgman was able to hold on for a one-stroke victory to win it. The Florida Swing is also underway from a PGA standpoint. The Cognizant Classic is actually this week, if I'm not mistaken, if I have everything, the schedule right. Okay. Let me see what else went down. We don't talk about Liv, so I'm not going to say anything regarding them. Brooks Koepka, he just came back on the PGA Tour a few weeks ago. And he also committed a $5 million donation to charity as part of the process. I'm not sure if they said, look, we'll take you back, but you need to, make a donation. And I'm going to talk about, matter of fact, I might as well talk about it here now since I'm mentioning donations. And let me pull up my text so I can make sure I get the information right as well. But as I pull this up and let everyone know about donation that is called Celebration of Life, it's about celebrity bowling, and I'll provide a little bit more information. It's going down in Florida, and as you two know, and everyone else should know, we just do not provide information as far as what's going down here in the Pittsburgh area. It could be anything across the country or across the world. We have, over 50,000 subscribers on YouTube, and on the radio side, we have someone from over 90 countries that listen to us on a monthly basis. So you never know where people are, but I'm going to pull up more information that I'm going to share that was sent over from a good friend of mine, Kevin Winston, that is down there in Florida. And he was actually on the program too, Ken, a few weeks ago when we had Lawrence Taylor on. Yep. He was the one that allowed us to have Lawrence Taylor on. So the information regarding that particular charity, go ahead.
Before you get information, I still want to give a shout out to DSN. Back-to-back had Lawrence Taylor and Mean Joe Green, two all-time greats here on Pittsburgh's DSN. That's amazing.
We loved it. It was
a lot of fun. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and we look forward to having more weeks like that.
Definitely. So yeah, let me see if I could. I'm going to try to pull the charity up so I could provide what's going on with that event, but I do not want to waste more time. So I just talked about. So I'll look it up as we talk about the golf that went down over the weekend and the golf that's coming up. Now, on the LPGA side, we had the Honda LPGA Thailand, if I'm not mistaken, that happened over the weekend as well. And then coming up this particular week is the LPGA HSBC Women's World Champion as well. And I'll get the winner of that Honda LPGA Thailand as well, unless you could bring it up, Ken. I want to make sure we provide the relevant information.
Kev, what I like about these early season golf events tells me that spring is around the corner, and I'm ready. Winter's grass has been strong on us, so golf season's telling me that around the corner.
It's around the corner. What did our little guy say?
Our little guy, I'm starting not to pay attention to that little guy. I think that little guy's up there in Punxsutawney.
Yeah.
Sipping on the whiskey.
What's
not
his
the
name?
milk.
What's his name? Phil?
Punxsutawney Phil.
Punxsutawney Phil. Are you looking for the winner?
Yeah. On the women's side. I know I put it in our promo, but I don't have it right in front of me, but I want to give her her due.
Second, February 19th through the 22nd, Gino Give me these hard ones. Janu Thitical.
She has a nickname as well. Is it Gino, her nickname?
Jeeno is her first name. She won $1.8 million. She was 20 of the Honda LPGA Thailand. Very well done.
All right. So that's what's going down in golf. Now let's talk basketball. Michigan versus Duke. That was the big game over the weekend. Excuse me. Last week, I picked Michigan. Kevin Platt was here. He picked Duke. One of the reasons I picked Michigan because I just saw Duke play here in Pittsburgh against Pitt, and they had an off night, and I let that sway me. Okay, Duke has a very good team, and they took it to Michigan, and it was a really good game. So I'm not sure if you two had the opportunity.
I did not see the game. I seen a little bit of the highlights, but I did see a number of Duke games. They do have a good all-around team, and this is the time of year, Kev, deep into February, starting to heat up. March Madness is right around the corner. So this is the time that NCAA men's basketball, Division I basketball, going to start to take off. I'm going to put my focus on when it's time to make those picks. Look out, here I come.
So, is Michigan, and I'm going to, this is for both of you, is Michigan, they're not known, recently at least, they're not known as your big powerhouse basketball team. Recently. They have the historical side of it, but recently they haven't really been there. They have the pedigree to be able to withstand like a team like Duke for the long run this season, or they have that pedigree, the organization in the program.
I'll chime in a little bit of that. Again, I haven't been focused on basketball sports. Michigan has a decent team. Last several years, Ron Howard was the coach, relieved of his duties. A little bit of a transition here. They do have some stellar players. I think it wants to the
have a real good squad.
I think once it comes to the tournament, it's going to all come down to matchups and who gets hot. But I think this is one of the years where you may have 8 to 12 teams that are capable of going all the way. So I think the door's wide open for a number of teams to have a chance to win that championship.
And we have a caller on the line as well. And if I could ask the caller to please turn the sound down on the radio. And I think it's Diva. What's going on, Diva?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Hey, Diva. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I have a couple of questions. I might be a little bit out of order because I couldn't get the call in. But one question for Ken. I'm going to the Penguins game against the Philly Flyers.
Okay.
I want to know how that game is going to be. Is it going to be competitive? Does the Penguins have the opportunity to win?
Penguins have the opportunity to win, but right now the Philadelphia Flyers and the Pittsburgh Penguins are at the top of their rivalry, which is really good. So you'll see a fun game, you'll see a fast game, and you'll see a physical game.
And it might even go into overtime and do 3-on-3.
Which is fine in the regular season.
Go ahead, Diva.
All right. And Kim, will you be at that game?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be there. I'll come down and see you.
All right. I'm going to be in one of the suites, so I have to let you know where I'll be. I'm going to be big time.
If you look up at the ceiling, I'm pretty much there.
All right.
But I'll get your information from Kevin, and we'll link up at the game, and I'll come say hello.
Cool. The other thing is, you talked about golf. Is the Live Golf League or whatever, is it dead now, or what's going on with them?
They're still hanging on. They're still trying to get players out of college or players that are entering into the professional ranks based on my understanding, a little bit I know about Liv. I just get hearsay because I really don't follow them.
But Kevin, it seems like they're losing a lot of momentum. At first, they were a big splash and very newsworthy because the gazillions of dollars they were throwing around. But you haven't been, like you said, Brooks Koepka's come back to the PGA. I think he's seen the grass wasn't greener. The money was greener, but the grass wasn't greener on that side. It just seems like it's lost a lot of its luster. I could be wrong, but just that's my vantage point.
Yeah.
And then my last question, Pitt,
Mm-hmm.
they beat Duke. What does their season look like, and will we retain our coach?
No, or you talk about Duquesne. Because they didn't beat Duke.
No, I'm talking about Pitt.
Pitt
Oh,
lost.
I thought Pitt. Oh,
No.
Pitt lost to Duke.
Yeah, Pitt lost to Duke.
Okay, I apologize for that. I apologize.
No
for that.
problem. I wish they could have beat Duke.
I was going to say, like, ooh.
Yeah.
That would have been
Wow.
fun.
Well, will we keep our coach, or is he done?
Jeff Capel, I'm going out on a limb, and I'm going to say Jeff Capel sticks around for next year. Pitt is supposed to have a pretty solid recruiting class coming in. So we'll see.
But Kevin, I might slightly disagree with you on that.
Go ahead. That's fine. It wouldn't
because,
surprise me
Well,
that they let him go. It wouldn't
yeah,
surprise
it
me.
wasn't surprised, but you got a new AD in. He has a reputation. He got rid of a coach that had a more stellar record than Jeff Capel. Jeff Capel's made the NCAA on time.
I
His
believe so,
tenure.
too.
So
Yeah.
that's the thing that they really have to on the come up as far as to NIL money, bring in the horses. Maybe he gets a reprieve. I don't know how the basketball is done, bringing in NIL dollars to.
Got it. Did we answer your question,
Okay,
David?
my last comment. I'm with you, Gib. I'm going to start a car service. I'm renting out people's properties, might not even be mine, during the NFL draft. So I'm going to get out there and hustle. I'm going to make me some money during the draft.
I might have to be on Team Diva. We can do a collaboration there and make it happen because there's going to be some money to be made out there. Trust me on that one.
For sure.
Let's see what kind of entrepreneurs are out there.
Absolutely. So, we might as well start putting things in place now. So car service, rental apartments, I might even find some homes for rent.
Some what?
So I'll let you guys know. Yeah, I'm renting it all out. I might even start selling bottled water. They said that's big too.
Bottled water, popcorn, you name it.
$10 a bottle. Let's do it.
There you go. There you go.
We're going to put Pittsburgh's DSEN slapped right on it.
Why not? Why not?
That's marketing 101 right there.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Appreciate
All right.
it.
Thank you, Diva.
Thanks for the call as always.
Take care.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, so let's talk man's AP Top 25. I won't go through all of them. I'll just go through some of the notable ones. We talked about Duke beating Michigan, so they flip-flopped. Okay, Michigan was one last week. Duke is now number one. Duke was number 3. Michigan is now number 3. Arizona is number 2. Iowa State at 23-4, they're number 4. Houston, they just lost to, who did they lose to? They lost to Kansas. Okay. And Houston is number 5 at 23-4. And then we have UConn, 25-3, who's number 6. Florida is number 7 at 21-6. Purdue, 8, 22-5. Gonzaga, 27-2. Impressive. They're number 9, and Illinois, 22-6. So those, and then I'll drop down to Kansas because they just beat, as I indicated, number 5 Houston, and they're 20-7. And there's a lot of noise around their primary player that we talked about last week as well, who he plays occasionally, and he's possibly the number 1 draft pick. I'm not sure if you know a lot about him, Gibbs. The number 1 possible draft pick coming out of college. So he plays for Kansas.
He's Kansas. He has a nice all-around game, long range, kind of slittery. Kind of puts me in. I'm not saying he's SGA, but kind of can get to the basket, the outside game too. I describe him like term I like to utilize, slittery.
Slittery? Will he go number 1?
One of the things against him it was putting together complete games and a lot of times taking himself out of the game. That's been the knock on him, so we'll see how that all plays out.
And from a NIL standpoint, it's been thrown around as well that he didn't get all the NIL money that he wanted, and that could be a possible issue as well. Darren Peterson, if that's how you pronounce his name, is the player that we're talking about. Hopefully, he'll get himself together and he'll be available, because the best ability that's been said before is availability, right? And he would scare me from an NBA draft standpoint, to be honest with you. But that's what's going down in college basketball with the allotted time that we do have. So it's about 7:22 now. And just to make everybody aware also, the last segment that is around 7:35, we'll have Chuck Cooper III on to talk about his dad, Chuck Cooper, the first black player drafted in the NBA. And Chuck will also talk about his foundation, the Chuck Cooper Foundation, as well. So we'll do that around the 7:35 time frame as well. Now, let's move over to the women's side, women basketball, the AP Top 25. And let me see if there's a new one out here as well. I want to make sure we have the most up-to-date information. I know the men's, if I'm not mistaken, that AP Top 25 was just released within the last hour or 2 hours as well. Either of you have a chance to check out any women's basketball?
I've just seen small pieces of women's basketball. Again, it's starting to warm up for me. Just watch the other sports. This is the peak time of the. From my standpoint, I'll get more in tune now.
Okay, UConn.
Powerhouse.
29-0.
Powerhouse. I mean,
29-0.
Incredible work by UConn.
UCLA, 27-1. They're number 2. South Carolina, number 3 at 27-2. Texas, they have a really good squad as well. 26-3. They're number 4. Number 5 is Vanderbilt, 25-3. Number 6 is LSU, 24-4. I did have a chance to watch some LSU basketball over the weekend as well, so they're looking good. Oklahoma is number 7 at 21-6. Michigan again.
I was actually surprised to see Oklahoma.
Is that right?
Get bumped up over Michigan. I know Michigan dropped
up
a little
4
bit.
spots.
Yeah.
That's a good jump.
Yeah, Michigan slid a couple spots here. They're 22-5. Iowa, they're 22-5. They moved up 4 spots here. And Louisville is number 10 at 24-5. And let me make sure there's some others that I need to talk about. What about a local flavor here as well, if you're not aware of this? West Virginia.
Yeah, they just bumped up
is
another
in the
2
top
spots.
20.
Yep.
Okay, they're number 17 at 22-6. So maybe we need to start to pay more attention to West Virginia. And then we have Baylor, 23-6. They're 18. Ole Miss, I know they lost their last couple games. They're number 19 at 21-8.
Well, Kevin, I know there's a certain gentleman out there that won the NFL picks contest.
You think?
I would love to hear about West Virginia
You think?
women's basketball. Yes.
He probably has no clue, to be honest with you. He
Mr.
probably has
McCormick.
no clue. All right, so we have some text messages, fellas, that we need to get to as well. So I'll make sure we do that. For those of you sending in the text, I have not forgotten about you. We have like 5 minutes left before we take our break, and let's talk about the NFL Combine. We talked about it to a certain extent already regarding this is the time that rule changes are being considered. And let me get my list here to make sure that I go over the ones that are being considered. The first one is the kickoff rule. Any adjustments? Would you two like to see any adjustments to the kickoff rule?
You know, it's funny. I'm actually, since they've changed the kickoff overall, I feel like this past year was probably the best I've seen it since it changed drastically, right? So I like that there's an opportunity for them to get a good running start, or the receiving team to get a good running start. I think it's worth another year of experimental play.
It still seems kind of odd to me, the kickoff rule.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my adjustment, I like to see them bring it out of I like the fact that they're bringing it out of the end zone more.
Yeah.
But I know the NFL, to me, they're hypocritical because they said they're doing it for an injury standpoint.
You're right.
But there's other things they're trying to go to an 18th game.
You're right.
That's in the works.
So they have the Thursday game, so on and so forth. Yeah.
So I think it's kind of hypocritical. But I like the fact that it's not in the end zone as much. I still like the guys had to start.
Okay, so they're talking about permanently keeping it on the 35-yard line for touchback. So we'll see what happens there. Now, this is the one that I don't like. They're talking about having a expanded replay and official review.
This was the one you didn't like.
Is that right? Okay, so what this is all about is expanding the replay assist authority, possibly the booth review for roughing the passer. I like that part.
Yep.
I like that part. Automated ball spotting technology trials. I like that part too. The part I don't like is the expanded replay assist authority. And if I'm right, this is where there's no flag thrown during the course of play, but after the course of play, in between plays, if the replay assist people see that some infraction happened, that they could throw a flag.
Yeah.
After the next play has already started?
So in between plays. So just say if I'm on one team and you're on one team, play happens, but after the play, off to the side, me and you get into it.
Yeah.
They could throw the flag and say, it's a 15-yard penalty for unnecessary roughness or something. I don't like that because it's just like where they take a look at certain plays and overturn certain plays. There's no set rule as far as how it's done. They pick and choose is what I'm saying.
Right.
And that's the correct assessment. So that'll be between plays, into it on the sideline, another player, but if they spot something, they have the jurisdiction to go in, step in, flag it 10 yards. I mean, some of those aspects of the replay review, I don't mind, particularly the ball spotting. They have the technology to get that spot down to a millimeter.
Right.
What's the technology they have nowadays? Number one concept I'm trying to get to, hopefully nothing slows down the game. I do not like to plead. They get into a scuffle or they see something later.
Yeah, exactly.
In between plays, because I know that judgment's coming to play.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you see how NFL referees have done before when the pass interference was under, and how that was how they try to adjudicate that.
Yeah, I don't think DK Metcalf would appreciate that. All right, so real quick, fellas.
Especially if you have on a blue wig.
Yeah, exactly. Real quick, no need for a response because we are out of time for this segment, and we have to get Chuck Cooper III on the line. But other rule changes they are considering: overtime format tweets. We talked about it in the NHL already, or Olympics, I should say.
7-on-7.
So they're thinking about adopting the same format for the regular season, adjusting the overtime length, and handling ties differently. And also roster and practice squad changes are being considered. And let me see, hip drop tackle enforcement as well. So those are some of the things that they are talking about in the NFL at the Combine. So we're going to go ahead and take a break. And when we come back, we will have Chuck Cooper III on the line to talk about his dad, Chuck Cooper, the first black player drafted in the NBA, as well as he'll give us information on his foundation, the Chuck Cooper Foundation. So we'll do all of that and more when we return. And we'll talk about the NBA as we do that as well.
Looking for a cost-effective way to help increase your company's bottom line? Look no further than Looking for a cost-effective way to help increase your company's bottom line? Look no further than Soul Pit Media. With our award-winning print, internet, podcast, and Soul Pit television options, we can help your business get to that next level. For more information, contact Craig Dawson at 412-407-7685. That's 412-407-7685. And let Soul Pit Media take you to that next level.
Business owners thinking about back-to-school promotions and replacing summer flavors with pumpkin? What about your taxes? Reduce your stress and tax liabilities by planning for tax time now with Cameron Professional Services Group. CPSG takes your goals, values, and visions to create a custom tax plan catered specifically to your business. We work closely with you to ensure that as your business grows and goals shift, so will your custom plan. Located in the Hill District in Pittsburgh, PA, CPSG is a CPA and consultant firm, providing services in accounting, auditing, tax planning and preparation, community development, and operational management. Call Cameron Professional Services Group today at 412-251-0607.
Have you had the Beat by Niche experience? Beat by Niche is one of the top makeup artists in the city of Pittsburgh. She's touched the face of Cardi B, Love and Hip Hop personalities, and various Steeler wives. If you have not sat in her chair, what are you waiting for? Visit beatbyniche.com to schedule your special makeover for all occasions: weddings, graduations, proms, photo ops, and more. Visit beatbyniche.com and experience the touch of excellence.
Here we go now. Grown and sexy. This a new bop. How do you want it? Coming with that Tupac. Eyeball it. Remote to that true documentary. How I come from a cool spot. BK. They all want to play. Oak trees, brownstones, where they want to stay.
All right. We are back. A little bit of MC Light there for you.
Well, I thought that was MC.
Yeah, that's MC Light for sure. This is Soul Take, everyone, on Pittsburgh's DSN. I'm Kevin Cameron, Ken Craig, Eric Gibson. Hopefully we have his audio straightened out so you all can hear.
How's it sound, Kev?
Hopefully it's good to go. Right. And on the phone, we have our guy. He's no stranger to Soul Take. He's been on Soul Take a few years ago, and we are happy to have him back. He is Chuck Cooper III. Chuck, what's up, my man?
Yes, sir. What's up, gentlemen, man? Thanks for having me on. I've been looking forward to coming back through.
Excellent. You're a busy guy, man. So, we had to get you when we could. You're traveling all around.
Got time for you, Kev. I always got time for you.
Hey, appreciate it, bro. You're doing some fabulous things with the Chuck Cooper Foundation. Your dad is being honored across the NBA. That's so beautiful to see. And let me throw it over to you, Chuck. for you to give the proper introduction of your dad, because a lot of people still don't know about your dad. I'm not sure how that's the case, but that's what's going down. And it's Black History Month as well. We still have a few more days, so this is actually a great time to have you on as well. So I'll throw it over to you.
Hey, I appreciate the platform. So, thanks to the NBA and the NBA Players Association, that's about to change. The three pioneering families came together: the Cooper family, the Lloyd family, and the Clifton family. The three pioneers who broke through the barrier in 1950, and we've been working hard with the NBA in partnership, and we finally landed on February 1st. Going forward will be the annual Cooper Clifton Lloyd Pioneers Day and Pioneers Classic in the NBA. And this year, it was fitting that the first Classic was in Boston. And those who don't know about my beloved Boston Celtics, not only did they integrate the NBA with the first official act when they drafted Chuck Cooper, the All-American out of Duquesne University, but they also started the first Black starting five, and they also had the first Black head coach in the great Bill Russell. So I'm proud to be historically connected to the 18-time world champion Boston Celtics.
There you go. And let me have a nice shout out to my wife's alma mater, Duquesne. Right?
Yes, sir.
A lot of people don't realize if you would ask someone that didn't have the history of basketball in this great city of ours, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and if you were to ask them who was the first Black, or where did the first Black basketball player come from, what university in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, most people that would know any better will probably say the University of Pittsburgh, right? But it wasn't the University of Pittsburgh. It wasn't Pitt. It was Duquesne. Duquesne, right?
Duquesne University.
There you go, Chuck Cooper. Duquesne has a rich history when it comes from a basketball standpoint. And your dad was a big part of that, was a huge part of that. Matter of fact, there's something going down over at Duquesne here within the next couple weeks. Why don't you tell everybody about it?
Oh, we got a couple things going on at Duquesne. I appreciate the plug, Cam. So listen, March 7th will be the annual Chuck Cooper Classic basketball game. So we're looking forward to that. That's always a nice event. Pittsburgh shows up nice for that game. Duquesne sells extra tickets as people come up to celebrate the Chuck Cooper legacy. And then on April 15th, we used to do an annual luncheon, but since this year will be my father's centennial birthday, we're doing the Chuck Cooper Foundation Centennial Gala April 15th, also at Duquesne University. So we got a couple big events coming up, and we're really looking forward to not only continue celebrating my father's legacy, but Kevin, you know this, a lot of people don't know this, but I've worked pretty much most of my adult life to do two things. One was to give back to my community, in our community, and I did that through educational programs, gang prevention programs back in the 90s, and then I started the Chuck Cooper Foundation in 2011. So I always wanted to do two things. My goal was to make sure I help out, my young brothers and sisters coming up, teach them about the Chuck Cooper legacy, give them tools and resources that help them become successful, get them through school and that sort of thing. But also it was to make sure that my father's legacy wasn't forgotten. And if it wasn't for the Chuck Cooper Foundation and the incredible corporate support that we have in Pittsburgh, our community partners, I don't think right now there would be two buildings on Duquesne's campus named in honor of my father. Of course, most people know about UPMC Cooper Fieldhouse. I call it Chuck Cooper Fieldhouse with a lot of pride, Also there's the Chuck Cooper building, catty corner to the Mario Lemieux statue, right? So there's two buildings on campus named after my dad. I don't believe he would have gotten to the Hall of Fame, not because he didn't deserve it, because so much time had went by that nobody was advocating and letting the Hall of Fame committee know what he accomplished, not just in the NBA, but being the second black consensus All-American in NCAA basketball history. So that's when they weren't trying to put brothers on, and they had to put my dad on that squad, right?
Yeah.
But he accomplished so much of basketball was getting overlooked. But it was the foundation, the people I got behind me, like the Tom Rooneys and so many people that really helped me uplift the legacy, is a big reason why we're celebrating the NBA 75th of the Pioneers breaking that color barrier. And we now, just like Jackie Robinson has, the great Jackie Robinson has, an annual recognition, so does Chuck Cooper, Earl Lloyd, and Nat Sweetwater Clifton.
Excellent. I think Eric Gibson had a question for you.
First and foremost, Chuck, thank you for taking the time to appear on the show. History matters. More importantly, Black history matters, and it's such a prominent thing that you're doing in making sure that your father's name gets out there. I'd just like you to reflect on a little bit on the journey, maybe reflect on some of the things your father seen as challenges helping to break that color barrier and being the first African-American drafted into the NBA.
That's a great question, Eric, and it opens up, a little bit more about his barrier-breaking life. But if we start with the NBA, it was 1950. He did not think he was going to be drafted because there was no precedent of a black person, a person of color being drafted. So he signed with the Harlem Globetrotters and played an 18-game series where, in sports in America, white versus black is something that's always sold as still sells. And the Globetrotters did an 18-game series playing against the college all-stars. So he actually started playing alongside Sweetwater Clifton prior to the NBA season. And then in 1950 in Chicago, my understanding was a smoke-filled draft room, and Walter Brown and Red Auerbach were there. Walter Brown stood up and said, this is the 13th overall pick. It was in the second round, but the 13th overall pick. Walter Brown stood up and said, Boston takes Chuck Cooper. So there was another owner that said, you can't take him, he's a Negro. I'm sure they use a stronger word than that.
Yeah.
But anyway, he said, you can't take him, he's a Negro. And Walter Brown said, I don't give a damn if he's striped, plaid, or polka dot. Boston takes Chuck Cooper, the All-American out of Duquesne University, and that officially integrated the NBA. But in terms of challenges, one thing he was challenged with that his white counterparts didn't have to deal with was, imagine now how they bring teams together and they hire psychologists and sometimes psychiatrists and all these team-building gurus to bring the team together. Back then, they would play a game and then they would go to eat dinner and he couldn't eat with the team. Or they would decide to go uptown for some entertainment and he couldn't catch a cab. And then we're talking about 1950 America. So to give some people some historical things to think about, this is pre-Emmett Till, right? And this is pre-Civil Rights Amendment. So it was legal to discriminate against people of color, against black people. So he was lucky because he went to an organization that gave him a lot of support. One difference I tell people, like one of the differences between my dad and Jackie Robinson and also the experience of Earl Lloyd and Nat Sweetwater Clifton is, when Jackie first, got into the Dodgers organization, a lot of his teammates didn't support him. Treated him bad and disrespectful.
Right.
The Celtics made sure that my father was treated with dignity and respect. Now, what he got from the other teams and fans and stuff like that, that was different. But the other thing is, like, the one thing I will say about the early African-American pioneers, they weren't allowed to really play their full games. They were limited to rebound and play defense. And you can think about this. You're going to integrate a league and you're going to turn your team over to that player that you just drafted.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. You know what I mean? So they rebounded and played defense, and they did it well. My father was the 11th leading rebounder in the NBA's rookie season. He was named to an all-rookie team, so he was the first black player named to all-rookie team. Back then, the NBA didn't select. They had the Basketball Writers of America selected the team, but he was in contention for Rookie of the Year. So he led the Celtics along with Bob Cousy, and it was Red Auerbach, the great late Red Auerbach's first year. They led the Celtics to their first winning record, right? So they started their culture of winning, but with the Celtics, they turned that culture of winning into the culture of championships. But that didn't happen until the great Bill Russell got there. And the last thing I'll say about that is you guys appreciate this. My father got frustrated because he got into the doghouse with Red Auerbach. because he had the guts to realize he needed to be making more money. Back then, it wasn't a front office negotiating. It was the coach and the owner.
Ooh.
So when Red told him he wasn't going to give him any more money, he went straight to the owner. Then Red was, that went over Red's head. He didn't appreciate it. So my dad got into the doghouse, right? But he was their first contract holdout. And he told me, he said, Chuck, listen, they really didn't give me enough money, and I put me in the doghouse. He said, and if I would have known that Bill Russell was coming, I would have stuck. I would have stayed.
That's a great story.
Hey, check it out. Check it out, Chuck. Ken has a question for you, but before I throw it over to him, I want to get back to a charity function that I mentioned earlier, and I didn't have the details, and this function is actually going down in Florida. It's a celebration of life, celebrity bowling event for the late, great Derek Thomas. If you remember Derek Thomas, he's a Hall of Famer.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
He was tragically paralyzed from a car accident. He played for Kansas City.
I remember him well.
Yeah, Kevin Winston sent this over to me, and what the function is about. Let me see. We invite you to join us for a night of celebration and fun. There's sponsorship opportunities. There's opportunities for kids to come out and bowl and have fun. The date of the event is actually Saturday. That's February 28th. Is that correct? February 28th is Saturday. It is from 5 to 8 p.m. You do not have to be in Florida to donate. Okay, you do not have to be in Florida to donate. I just want to make sure everyone is aware of that. It's for the kids, and if your donation is provided, it would be well appreciated. So if you want more information on that particular event, text me or give us a call here at the station, and we'll make sure you get all the relevant information. And like I said, if you can't be there, donations are accepted. Okay, Ken?
Yeah. Thank you again for joining us. It's been incredible. I know a number of times, but it's always great to have you back. But one question. Can you tell us a little bit about, because I know after his NBA career, he went on to do more and be a first again in the city of Pittsburgh.
Great question.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So when he got back to Pittsburgh, he wanted to continue to, lead by example, open doors for others, wanted to continue to barrier break and blaze trails. And every time he applied for a position that would give him the ability to lead and be a decision maker, they would say, oh, you need a master's degree. So, he got tired of hearing that. So he actually applied and got a scholarship to the University of Minnesota. My older sister was born. He took my mom and my sister, so he took family in tow, and he went to the University of Minnesota and got a master's in social work. And then he came back to Pittsburgh and leveraged that education. He became the city of Pittsburgh's first Black department director. And this story gets deeper because a lot of people don't realize this. And I remember walking around with the planners, but I don't know if you guys have ever been up to the Connie Hawkins League when it was up in East Hills.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that park up there, if you think about it, there's no other community of that small size that had a park with all those amenities. Little League baseball field, swimming pool, tennis courts, rolling hillside for concerts, of course, basketball courts. So he had that built while he was a director of Parks and Recreation. But after he got those plans approved, he resigned after only a year because the mayor had somebody on his staff that wouldn't let him, he's like, oh, you got to run all your decisions past me. My brother was like, oh, no, nobody else is doing that. I'm going to run my department like every other director.
Right.
So it was an article in the Pittsburgh Courier when he resigned. He said, listen, I've been the first on a few occasions, but never once was I asked to be a token, and I'm going to start now.
Wow.
So that's how he dropped the mic and resigned from that position. And then shortly after that, he became PNC Bank's predecessor, Pittsburgh National Bank, their first black executive. And that also came with trials and tribulations where he had to really fight for dignity and respect, because we're talking about the early 70s. But he became a rising star at the bank, and they credited him with some community development programs and initiatives that are not only still being done in Pittsburgh, got picked up on the national agenda. So, yeah, he continued to break barriers once he got back to Pittsburgh. And real quick, I'll tell you this other story. That I used to love being with my dad. I was his only son. I had 3 sisters. And of course, I had, I wanted to play in the NBA. I was chasing hoop dreams. So I used to always want to be one of them. And I remember we'd go up to East Hills because we lived in the community. And we just go to the Giant Eagle. He'd be going to get a loaf of bread. Come on, Dad, I'm coming with you. I was probably about 7, 8 years old. And we'd get to the store, and so many people would come up to it. He would just take time to talk to people. And at this time, he was in positions where he was helping people get jobs and mentoring and that sort of thing. And that's what really gave me the idea of, like, how do I carry his legacy forward? Give him what he gave me and what he already gave the community. Let's continue his legacy. But I used to get mad, though, because I thought we was going for a loaf of bread, hoping maybe I could stop by McDonald's and get a cheeseburger, and a trip to get a loaf of bread would take an hour and a half. So
Right. I can believe
Oh, man, those are good times, good times.
So you mentioned the Chuck Cooper Foundation, and you said April 15th is the event, scholarship event?
Yeah, that's our annual gala. Yeah, we pivoted off of scholarships. We now have an internship program.
Okay.
We noticed that our scholars needed more workforce development. So instead of just giving, we always had a give back component with our scholarships. And as times go on, now a lot of the kids, they're busy, they're working 2 jobs, so it was harder for them to meet the internship the outreach requirement that we had with our scholarship. So we said, let's be more intentional about it. Let's start a paid internship program. So we had our first paid intern last year, Ayanna Townsend. She was a scholar athlete at Duquesne, and she worked right up under me. And also my program director or board director, Dr. Jamesh Brown, who is a 2-time Chuck Cooper Scholarship recipient, who helped mentor her as well. So, we're more intentional about not just giving money to help with education, but making sure they also are ready for the workforce.
Excellent. Now, what I want to do is I want to share a little bit of I guess this is the NBA All-Star Game 2026. So that was last week, if I'm not mistaken. Week and a half?
Yeah, that was last week.
Yeah. So I know you sent
2 Sundays ago. Sundays ago.
Okay, so Magic Johnson had the privilege to actually honor the 3 individuals that you mentioned: Chuck Cooper, Nat Clifton, and Earl Lloyd. So I want to share that with the audience, and then after we share that with the audience, if you could come back and provide a little bit of more information regarding that particular All-Star game, that honor, and other information as well. Okay?
Absolutely. I love to. Yeah.
All right. So here we go.
5 years ago, the NBA changed forever. In 1950, when the Boston Celtics selected Chuck Cooper with the 13th overall pick, he became the first black player to be drafted. A month later, Nat Sweetwater Clifton was the first black player to sign an NBA contract with the New York Knicks. And on opening night, Earl Lloyd broke the color barrier as the first black player to appear in an NBA game. The NBA is proud to celebrate the 75th anniversary of these players' pioneering achievements. Now at center court, representing these true pioneers of the game, please welcome Chuck Cooper's son, Chuck Cooper III, Nat Clifton's daughter, Jaton Robinson Swopes, and Earl Lloyd's son, Kevin Lloyd. To say a few words, a man who needs no introduction in the city of Los Angeles, Magic Johnson.
So cool.
I speak on behalf of the entire NBA family when I say to the children of Chuck Cooper, Nat Clifton, and Earl Lloyd, thank you for ensuring that your father's legacies will never be forgotten. Thank you, and thank you.
One more time for Magic Johnson and the families of these three pioneers and their lasting impact on the NBA.
That was awesome.
All right, there you go, Chuck. How was that experience, bro? How was that experience?
Hey, I tell you what, you talking about a wow moment in my life. And I'll start with the fact that, you know, Magic came on the court and paid tribute to our fathers. But even more importantly, he recognized the hard work that the families had put in, all three families, to make sure that our fathers, you know, weren't forgotten about. So he spoke directly to us, which made it, you know, super, super moving and touching for me. But beyond that, you know, Magic, I got a joke with Magic Johnson. I got a chance to tell him the second time I had him laughing. I got a picture to prove it. But,
all right.
But I always tell Magic, I say, Magic, man, because the first time I met him was at the Black Progressive Caucus in D.C. Everybody was lined up to shake his hand, you know, giving him all kind of love. So I pulled up on him. I said, Magic, I got a bone to pick with you. He said, what? Gave me a look, kind of a, you know, look like, what's this guy talking about? I said, you're the reason why they go Division I. And he looked at me again like he was more perplexed. I said, I was so busy trying to be Magic Johnson to be in Chuck Cooper. And he laughed, man. I got a good hard laugh. I told him that story again, you know, a couple of Sundays ago. And he laughed again. But to have Magic on stage, my hero, my basketball idol, you know, and that story's probably half true. You know, I could have went D1. Didn't, but I did probably spend a little bit too much time trying to emulate Magic to be myself.
It's all good. It's all good. Hey, on that note, have you met? I know you're always at the Boston games, right? But have you met Kobe? Have you met Shaq or, you know, anyone else? Jordan?
Did not get a chance to meet Kobe.
No?
I met Jordan. I met Shaq. I got a great Shaq story. Jaylen Brown's my guy. So with this campaign, there were three players who spoke on behalf of the Pioneers. Jaylen Brown spoke on behalf of Chuck Cooper, you know, for the NBA. Karl Anthony Towns spoke on behalf of Sweetwater. And then Steph Curry spoke on behalf of Earl Lloyd. So, you know, I know Jaylen pretty well. I know his family. I've been to an event. We also started doing some foundation work in Boston. So we supported one of his events along with Dr. Brown, who I mentioned earlier, who's the director of the Moonshot Museum. So I met Jaylen, Jayson. I mean, I was in the locker room after the championship game when they won a couple of years ago. So
nice.
You know, I've met so many NBA players. And the thing, and I think it helped really gain the momentum for us to get the annual recognition, because I started giving the NBA executives feedback. I said, listen, every time I meet these players, I go from asking them for a picture to them wanting a picture with me, because they respect the history of what our fathers went through. They just didn't know the stories. You know what I mean? So now that the NBA has made the commitment to tell the stories, we're looking to just see how we can continue to grow and develop the annual Pioneers Day and Pioneers Classic in conjunction with the NBA and the NBA's Players Association.
Excellent. All right, so we close. Did you have another question?
No, not a question. I just wanted to comment.
Okay.
Again, Chuck, your father was a trailblazer, not only on the court, but off the court. And I want to tip my hat for you and the Chuck Cooper Foundation for the yeoman's work and innovative and creative work and groundbreaking and educational work that you're doing to this day. So certainly tip my hat to you. Keep up the good work.
Thank you very much, Eric. I really appreciate it. That's a real quick story. I started the foundation when I got laid off from my pharmaceutical job. So my wife said, what are you going to do next? You going to go to the competitor? I said, no, I think I'm going to start a foundation from scratch. So I birthed through my 401k, but we've been able to help out so many young people. We have awarded over $400,000 in graduate scholarships to over 65 individuals. And we're just looking to continue to have impact, not only to lift my name, but to really help young people find their successful career path. So it really, truly is an honor and a blessing, not just to do the work, but to get a chance to hang out on shows and platforms like yours and talk about my father and the work of the foundation. So thank you. I really appreciate it.
Okay. Chuck, please send us the information on your April 15th event. We would love to share with everyone and post it to our website as well. So please send that over. I know it's right at 8 o'clock, but I want to steal 5 minutes here so we could finish up the rest of our agenda. If you have to leave, Chuck, I definitely understand.
No, I can hang. You know, I always like to hang with you guys.
All right,
yeah,
appreciate it. So
let's go.
Yeah, hopefully we won't be too long-winded and get this in 5 minutes. So
I said, hey guys, he gave me a hint. Like Chuck, don't be long, be short now.
All right,
I picked up on. I'm tracking.
Okay, so cool. So where are we? All right, so this game happened, I believe, last night. The Spurs and the Pistons. Is it possible that we could have these two teams match up in the NBA championship? I'll throw it over to you first, Chuck. Your thoughts?
I think it's a great possibility. Both of these teams are playing tremendous team ball. And when you look how Cade Cunningham, boy, does he get downhill quick.
Yeah.
And the way Wemby's playing at the rim, you know, Wemby in that game had 21 points, 17 rebounds, and 6 blocks.
Crazy.
And that doesn't count the shots that he altered, right? So both of those teams are high up. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if either one of them or both of them make it to the finals.
Yep. And you have the two individuals that I have indicated here as well. Now, moving on to Boston, there's a guy that has been out. Jaylen Brown has been holding it down for the Boston Celtics, though. Jayson Tatum, do you expect him to return?
Me?
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Chuck.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, somebody else?
No, that's you. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm hopeful. I really am, but only if, safety first with JT. But if he comes back, I think that changes a lot of things in the East. I would actually say I would pick, if he comes back and gets back into his flow and his rhythm, I would put Boston as the front runner in the East.
I really don't care too much about him since, we had to talk about Boston. He's coming back. I had to ask you about him. I really care about LMA. What about LMA? Well, will she be back in the arena rooting on her man?
We will see, right?
For sure. Now, Boston, they've been playing better than expected. Okay. Well, do you think they'll be able to compete either way?
I do. I mean, Jaylen Brown's playing at an NBA level, and I said this 2 years ago. He's probably the top one or two best two-way players. If you look at when he put 50 up against the Clippers the other day, he also guarded Kawhi and held Kawhi under his average.
Wow.
And Jaylen is just a phenomenal player, and he's such a solid human being and person and does so much for the community. He's one of those guys that the more you get to know him, the more you root for him. But talent-wise, he's more than capable of taking them, especially look, you got Peyton Pritchard now. He's dominating some of these guys offensively now. Down low, backing them down, spinning, bullying them with the bumps and the layups. I mean, he's balling, and you got Derek White. And now they got the big dudes that they just brought in to go with, a couple guys that are already playing well. So I think Boston's capable of making a run. With JT coming back, though, I think they're a serious contender for another chip.
All right, so currently Boston is in second place, 37-19. Let's go out west. And the first question I have out west, from a Lakers standpoint, do you think that our guy LeBron James, by the way, have you met LeBron James? Let's start there.
I have a LeBron story. I won't share it. I have not met LeBron. I would like to meet LeBron one day, of course. Got close a few times. That's a good question. I mean, I think LeBron's got like a $59 million, somewhere around there. If they bring him back next year.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a two-way player really any longer. I mean, he can play in spurts, but he doesn't really dedicate himself to both ends. You got Luka on that team, who's not known to be a shutdown defender by any means. So that really causes a big liability in your roster, even though they're both, still good offensive players. LeBron is great in flashes, but I don't know. That's a tough question. That if they could really move on for some pieces and build around Luka, I think that's a smarter move from a GM standpoint. But but LeBron deserves his farewell tour. So I think there's some politics that are involved there that I think that the Lakers are going to have to be conscious of, because LeBron is such a key asset to the league. Even when he retires, he's going to be somebody that they're going to want to promote and have out there. So they're going to have to really handle that situation, I think, with kid gloves.
Yeah. Now let's go back to Duquesne University real quick. Who's the head coach?
Drew Joyce, LeBron's teammate.
There you go. That's where I'm going. There's no reason whatsoever for you not meeting LeBron James, man. You gotta make that happen, bro. You gotta make that happen.
Yeah.
All right.
Man, I got close. But
okay.
No cigar yet.
Okay. Yeah, you gotta make that happen. All right, Giannis. Let's talk Giannis. Antetokoumpa. I knew I wouldn't mess it up.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to get it.
We all were waiting for Kevin to announce that.
Antetokoumpa. I don't know. The Greek freak.
Yeah,
the Greek freak.
The Greek freak.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, Milwaukee. Will he? Do you think he'll return, or is it a done deal? Will he be with the Knicks or someplace else?
That's a tough question. So doesn't seem like he's going to get moved this year. And when you think about injuries, and I don't want
at the end of the year, I'm talking about off-season transactions.
At the end of the year,
yeah.
I think he's definitely out of Milwaukee. If he was going to be in Milwaukee, I think they would have got something done already. I think he's really ready to move on. He wants to win another championship, but I don't think he sees that happening in Milwaukee in the next couple of years. And he's getting older now. He's got to be up in his 30s now, right?
I'm not sure of his age. I'm not really sure.
I believe he is.
But he has at least one championship. One championship, is it? And one MVP, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Okay.
He's 31.
So
31. He's 31.
Yeah.
There you go, Chuck.
So he's thinking like, hey, how many great years do I have left where he could truly dominate like he can now? So I think he wants to try to get another chip, which a lot of them have done in recent years. They want to move on and contend for a championship.
Yeah, he might pull a Kareem. A lot of people, a lot of people don't realize, Kareem, Lou Alcindor. He was in Milwaukee, and he left Milwaukee and went to the Lakers. So, hey, you never know. All right, so the last thing that I have from an NBA standpoint, OKC, Oklahoma Thunder, the defending champion. They are 44-14 right now in the West. San Antonio, as we talked about earlier, they're right on their heels at 41-16. Can they repeat? OKC. Chuck.
If they stay healthy and gel, I mean, they started off, they were on fire. They hadn't lost a game. I think they challenged I know they set their team record for consecutive wins. But I mean, they're a solid group. You got to beat the champ to beat the champ. So they have the team and all the tools. I got a chance to meet Chad Helgrim, who's on their squad, the 7-footer, super nice guy, but they have a certain team chemistry that is kind of unmatched in the league, and their talent is there. So Shea's one of the best two-way players. I think it's him or JB.
Shea Gilgeous Alexander. SGA, and he's dealing with injury right now. So we'll see when he comes back. So it should be pretty interesting.
Williams can fill it up. They got some players, but I tell you what, that San Antonio team really has my interest with Cassell, the brother that's playing the inside-outside game. He's playing tremendous basketball. They got a couple rookies who may even get a chance to participate. Ron Harper's son, and also Carter Brandt, who's in the slam dunk competition. So they even got some more pieces over there that really haven't got a chance to do what they can do yet. So I tell you what, I might. If you ask me to pick right now coming out the West, I probably would say San Antonio.
Okay. We can't sleep Houston either with KD.
I like Houston, but I'm liking what I see in that San Antonio team right now.
I was going to say, don't sleep Denver also. But,
you're right.
But I'm with you, Chuck, on San Antonio. I'll tell you what, if this Wemby gets another 15 to 20 pounds of muscle on him, unstoppable.
Well, that's not going to happen before the playoffs.
I was just saying,
not before the playoffs.
Maybe next season.
But I'm just saying, as that body matures, look out.
Here's the thing, Eric. If you look at him, though, he's not a skinny. He's not a weak skinny anymore.
No, he's everybody tries to body him, but he's getting stronger and stronger.
He's getting stronger. He's taking contact. He's giving time. Some of the plays he's making around the rim, dumping on people, are with contact now. Did you see what he did to Draymond Green?
That was nasty.
Crazy.
That's all I can say. That was nasty.
Oh, so I mean, you got to watch out. Yeah, that was disrespectful. Green was trying to disrespect him, trying to bully him about him.
Yeah.
He turned around and just blamed on him. I was like, oh my God. Wemby, look, they call him the alien for a reason.
Yeah, he's got, the last couple of years, he's got a lot more stronger. Like you said, he's very wiry.
Big time.
Yes, he
so
is.
it should be interesting.
And the handle. Look at the handle he's doing. Like at 7 foot.
Shoot 3-pointers also.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
He's ridiculous.
All right.
He's a game changer.
We'll go ahead and close everything out. Everyone, if you joined us late, the voice that you're hearing on the phone is Chuck Cooper III, and we invited Chuck on to talk about his dad. Chuck Cooper, the first black player drafted into the NBA, and he was drafted by the Boston Celtics. If you're not familiar with him, go to YouTube, check out some of the highlights, go to Google, get more information. Also get information on the Chuck Cooper Foundation. They are having their annual event on April 15th. If you would like more information on it, please get in touch with us here at Pittsburgh's DSEN.
Yeah, or check out the chuckcooperfoundation.org. You can find everything else out there.
Excellent. And
our link should be live too for the gala.
Nice. And this has been overtime for Sultan. Hey, if the hockey teams could do it, we could do it too, right?
We have more here than they had on the ice during overtime. Come on.
We got 3 here. It's almost 3 on 3.
Yeah. So, Chuck, we'll let you close out your part with anything that you would like to share before you sign off.
No, I just really appreciate the opportunity to come on and have some fun and chat with you guys. I love the platform. I love your show. And just a huge thank you to Pittsburgh for standing up for the Chuck Cooper legacy. Again, I could not do what I've done with the Chuck Cooper Foundation and lifted my father's legacy all the way to a global recognition now without the great people, the great corporations, and our great community partners here in the city of Pittsburgh. So thank you.
Yep, for sure. Now, let me say this, too, before I let you go. I was just thinking, Chuck, when we first met each other, I was at PNC Bank. And as you said, your dad worked for PNC as well. And we actually worked together to do the first Black History event at PNC Bank around your dad, recognizing your dad. I forget how many years ago that was. It had to be maybe 20 years ago at least. But, hey, when I call you, you're always available. Even if we have to do it later on, we find time to get you on, and that's much appreciated. And I know you're running all around the country, doing great things, and I'm so happy to see the foundation is doing well also.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Like I said, Kevin, I'm up for coming on your platform anytime. I appreciate your great work.
Okay, great. And please send over the information too, because we want to share as much as possible. Okay. Thanks a lot, Chuck.
I really appreciate that.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Chuck.
Yep.
Take care, gentlemen. Yep.
Okay.
All right. Peace.
Bye.
Incredible.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Excellent. Always enjoyed. And let me make sure that we're hung up as well. There we go. All right. So 30 seconds, fellas. Thanks for hanging around to do this overtime. But we, got a lot of good information, and it's hard to cut, those conversations off. It really is. I'll start with you, Gibbs.
Hey, once again, thanks everybody out there in DSEN land for listening to us. Chuck Cooper III, awesome job, yeoman's work. I want to remind everybody, Black history is a part of American history. It doesn't just take place in February, but 365 days a year. Share your stories. Pass on the legacy. We have a lot of grandparents, great-grandparents. Look out for them, but share their stories, share their history. Thanks again for listening. We love you all.
Yeah, and before we, wrap things up, I wanted to give shine a spotlight on a special partner, Autism Pittsburgh, organization that's been serving local families for the past 67 years. They support hundreds of individuals across Western Pennsylvania every year, including families that are very close to me. If your family needs any resources, guidance, support, or if you're in a position to give, they're a trusted partner right here.
Okay, and Kim, we would love to have someone on to talk about that as well.
Absolutely.
So let's see if we can make that happen also.
I will get in touch.
All right,
That's
cool.
very important, too.
All right, now, Gibbs, you mentioned Black History, and my wife Francine has mentioned similar to what you mentioned, that it's not a February thing. Right. Everyone should know that all month of February, Black History Month, the station Pittsburgh's DSEN has been providing a spotlight for key Black history figures during our normal programs. And my wife Francine said, well, it's nice that it's done in February, but we should do, we should do it every day. So that's something that we're considering to do, the spotlight Black history every day, because as you said, it's Americans' history. And there's so many great people that, we could fill up the year. So yeah, look for that in the near future as well. Also, everyone should know that Pittsburgh's DSEN has a cruise coming up November 7th through the 14th. Take a look at it, everyone. It's out there on our website, pghdsen.com. Check it out. We will be cruising in the Eastern Caribbean, November 7th through the 14th. We would love to have you around. Also, or on the cruise, I should say. Also, coming up directly after the show is the best of soulful music, and that will be on until midnight. And what's tomorrow, fellas? Tomorrow is Wednesday. Okay, and then Thursday we have reggae from 6 to 11 p.m. Friday Night Jam, 6 to 11 as well. So,
and Kev, I got to say, if they haven't heard the music is spectacular. It moves your spirit, it moves your soul, the gospel, the jazz, the reggae, the hip-hop, the old school. It's fantabulous.
Excellent. So, yeah, check us out. We're a 24/7 radio station. Those of you listening on the YouTube side, check it out, pghdsen.com. So we appreciate everyone listening. Everyone, please be blessed, stay blessed, and join us again every Tuesday from 6 to 8 p.m. Take care.